All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone. We're here to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners, and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, today we're going to get into the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, and just feel that this is the right chapter, as 2025 has been declared the year of the hopeful year of our salvation and deliverance, roughly paraphrasing, and the destruction and judgment of Esau Edom. So that's why we want to go into Ezekiel 35. All right, so
It's the book of Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 1. It says, "Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it."
And we know that Mount Seir is the original land that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai gave to Esau Edom. You want to get that account in Genesis, I think it's 36.
Yep. This is Genesis chapter 36, verse 8. It says, "Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom."
So the name Esau is interchangeable with Edom when you're talking about the entire nation. Okay. And Mount Seir is where he ruled and governed. That was his land. Where is Mount Seir today? The whole earth. Okay. According to Job 9 and 24. Come on, somebody grab that.
Even when you deal with mounts, mounts are mountains. They are representative of governments. So when we out there prophesying, man, we prophesying against the top wicked elite of Esau Edom, because they're the upper echelon of the ruling class of their nation. But also the judgment is also going to fall upon the nation itself.
Yep.
And reason why the message is mainly going to the upper echelon of the elites is because they're the ones in the power seat. Okay, but just like we as a nation had to suffer the curses and go into captivity and so on and so forth, guess what? Hey, this message goes out to the whole nation as well. All right, just beginning with the elites.
And also those elites, we're talking about those mountains being in government. Another name for them is the shadow government. The ones that, you don't see, that are running everything. All right.
This is the book of Job chapter 9 verse 24. It says, "The earth is given into the hands of the wicked."
And then who is the wicked? Esau Edom, according to Malachi 1 and 4. All right.
"He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?"
He says he covered the faces of the judges thereof. Who's the head judge? Yahweh Shai, according to John 5 and 22. All right. When the Lord says the Father judges no man, he commendeth all judgment unto the Son. Okay, he's the head judge. Okay, so we know with that covering cast of Caesar Borgia, we know who covered them. So now we know who you are and where you are. Okay, that covering cast that you did with that image, revealed exactly who the scripture is talking about. We already knew it because of the wicked, but the fact that you covered the faces of the judges thereof, that brought it home. That solidified who is in rulership right now. All right.
Precept. It's the book of Job chapter 13 verse 4. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value."
That forgers of lies. Psalms 58 and 3 says you are estranged from the womb, speaking lies. All right. And it says you're physicians. That goes into like being a doctor. And like falsifying, and that's what you do. All right.
We're back here.
Yep.
All right. Let me look up something real quick. Okay. I pulled up forger in the Merriam dictionary. It says is two is the point. It says a person who falsifies, a creator of false tales.
Yep. Esau Edom from the womb, you're strange speaking lies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
But that's all being covered right now. Okay? Like the scriptures say, was that in Habakkuk, shameful spewing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to uncover, everything Esau has done. You know, the scriptures say he has made Esau bare.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything has been exposed about you 24/7, 365, around the clock. All right?
Yeah.
And it says, you want to go back to that Ezekiel 2 again?
Yes.
35 and 2.
Yep, this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it.
It says, and prophesy against it. You know, that's to say, prophesy pretty much means to say before the things are that's gonna happen. Okay. Yep.
It's the book of Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
So the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries, against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And that's what's coming. That's what we're doing, week in and week out on the highways and byways, as well as our, own video epistles. You want to grab Isaiah 42 and 9 also?
I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Isaiah chapter 42, verse 9, it says, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare, before they spring forth, I tell you of them.
God, and who is he talking to? His prophets. You know, he's telling us prophets of those things that are to come, and has given us the breakdown. Through our leaders, on explaining those things that have happened in the past. All right. As the scriptures say, Amos 3 and 7. The Lord do nothing; He revealeth His secrets unto His servants the prophets.
Mm-hmm.
That's why only the elect has this truth. And then you heathens, Christianity, you can't come against it. You're having a problem right now. We were just talking a little bit earlier that network Daystar, it's crumbling. Christian. That's like the hub network for like Christianity. You have all your top folks on there. Joyce Myers, the pseudo top folks, Joyce Myers, Jessica Plannis, all of them are leaving because of a scandal, the wickedness going on with that place. All right. So yeah, he said prophesy against it, and we see that as Christianity is coming crashing down, the nation of true Israel, is on the rise. All right, with the prophets. All right.
Yeah. Back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something. Okay. This is grab that Amos 1 and 11.
Okay.
That we just brought out.
This is excuse me. This is Amos chapter 1 verse 11. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
Yeah.
And as we read further down into Ezekiel the 35th chapter, it goes into the perpetual hatred that Esau, Edom, so-called white man, has harbored towards the nation of Israel throughout all generations. Mm-hmm. Which we could drag it all the way back to the serpent in the garden, because what the Lord, he said he would put enmity between her seed and thy seed. Mm-hmm. Referring to which will later down in the line. It will be enmity between Jacob and Esau.
God.
All right.
I was gonna say if I can add to that point, that's a dark saying or a parable, because women don't have seed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we want to make that clear. He's talking about the nation of Israel, which is a comely and delicate woman. All right, his bride. That's what we are to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So just want to make that point between her seed and your seed. All right.
Yep. Going to the seed that she would conceive, because seed comes from men. All right. And when we jump a little ahead during the time of Jacob and Esau, what did Esau say? He said, now the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. So that enmity has carried on throughout all the generations. If I may actually grab this real quick, in the book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse 16. For he said, because the Lord Yahweh has sworn that the Lord Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And we know Amalek to be the top tribe of the nation of Edom, which Amalek today would be the so-called, what we call the small hatters, all right, the fake-ish people that's currently over there inhabiting our land right now. So the Lord, he said he's going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation, and that goes on to this day.
God.
You know?
If you go back to the story of Saul when he was king, you know, for that prophecy in Exodus, that's why he didn't do. You know, he didn't slay Amalek and everything about him. You know, he didn't do it. He spared some stuff. That's because of what the Lord said all the way back in Exodus. You know, he had war with him from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and him being part of that head nation, you know, he said the wicked is reserved until the day of destruction. He shall be brought forth at the day of wrath, according to Job 21:30. All right.
So we're back at Ezekiel.
Okay.
Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 3, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee. I will make thee most desolate.
God, and that word desolate means an utter waste. Okay. Destruction. What he says, "O Mount Seir, I'm against thee." This is the Lord saying this, and we know according to Hebrews 10:31, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Okay, He's going to take you out in the end. That's what the scriptures say. Isaiah 63, when the Lord returns, you know, He's going to come back in a world that's ruled by Edom, the so-called white man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you got something?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah, something. Okay, I had something real quick just to this was out in Ezekiel chapter 6 verse 6, but at the point I just want to read verse 2 really quick. It says, "Son of man," it says, and the word of the Lord, verse 1, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face toward the mounts of Israel, and prophesy against them."
Mm-hmm.
So just to show you that if the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai would do this with his own people, how much more a nation in which he hates, that he doesn't deal with. So the point I want to show, because he said he's going to make this land most desolate, and this is verse 6. It says, "And all your dwelling places, the cities shall be laid waste, and the high places shall be desolate." He says that your altars may be laid waste and made desolate, and your idols may be broken and cease, and your images may be cut down, and your works may be abolished. Okay, so just to show you that the Lord, you know, the images, everything in which Esau Edom claimed to be a part of, saying that they're the people, from the idols, the pride of life, you know, houses, the cars, and things that they've made prized possessions, even your to the point of your technology that you reign supreme in. The Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to break it all down. And first, he's going to start with the mouth of the prophets to expose, making you bare and bringing it forth before the whole congregation, so that we can all then ask the Lord at this point, how long,
Hey, because at the time this was written, the Lord, he executed this judgment upon the nation of Israel.
Yep.
We're a prized possession in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Shai. So if we get punished for our iniquities, our wickedness, then how much more Esau, Edom, so-called white man, whom, a nation against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Whereas Jeremiah 49 tells us, art thou altogether he that shall go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of the cup.
Right.
You see, and when we look at America today, you can be whatever you want, do whatever you want. follow whatever religion you choose to worship. Okay, so just imagine all the fornication, all the wickedness is going on over here in America. And you think the Lord is not going to bring any judgment upon this place, man?
Precept for you. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 16, verse 11. It says, "And if there be one stiff neck among the people, it is marvel if he escape unpunished." So again, if you pride, stiff neck goes into pride, right? Being prideful, and the Lord hates the prideful man, right? But again, as the brother brought out, he quoted to Jeremiah. You've done all these things, and in your pride, you think you're not going to go on. You're going to go unpunished. It's a marvel, right? With all the atrocities that's being brought out before the congregation, which the elder Yashawamba, he actually brought. I think it was Elder Yashawamba that brought that out, where he talks about the congregation deals with like Khan and Hope. Actually, it was the Elder Mysteries of the Kingdom. I always forget his name, but it's like that Khan, which goes into with, and then you got gregation, which is like the flock, right? So, and then you got, which deals with the saints, the congregation of the saints, the flocks of Israel, right? So it's going to be shown through all the congregation, the children of Israel, what you are and what you've been doing, right? And so, and now we're all looking at, hey, is he going to get punished for this? When is this going to happen? How is it going to happen? And he's got the men of the Lord exposing it through the spirit of Yahweh Shai.
What's that? Is that Psalms 85 and 11? His iniquity shall be revealed, and righteousness shall look down from heaven.
Yep. Real quick, let me finish this off. He says, second part of this, he says, "For mercy and wrath are with him," it's with Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. "He is mighty to forgive and to pour out displeasure." And we know that we're in the time of, we're in the hopeful year of salvation for the elect and the destruction of Esau, Edom. And this is one of those scriptures. He is mighty to bring mercy, and who's bringing it? To his elect, and bring wrath upon him, which would be 2/3 of the people, but more importantly, that wrath upon Esau, Edom, right? And so he says to forgive and pour out his displeasure.
Yep. And you had brought up before, we'd be remiss not to bring out this precept, how the Lord's not dealing with him. Romans 9 and 13, which is quoted from Malachi chapter 1, verses 2 and 3.
9 and 13?
Yep.
All right, this is the book of Romans chapter 9, verse 13. It says, "As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated."
God said, that's straightforward. Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. He has that righteous indignation against him. Okay, because of his wickedness. And the Lord talks about that balance between good and evil. Say love and hate. That's a balance. Can you grab that in? I think it's Sirach 33, around 13 and 14.
Yeah, this is Sirach chapter 33, verses 13 through 15. It says, "As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best."
Kind of, when you go down further in Romans 9 and 13, he says, from the same lump, he had created a vessel of honor and a vessel of dishonor. Okay, from the same lump, which goes into what you're going to get to in this precept, how marvelous the works of the Lord are. Go ahead.
It says, "Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly."
God. And that's that. Once again, the godly, which is the elect of the nation of Israel, and the sinner. Which is it's our 2/3, but more so Esau, Edom. Because there's no righteousness within him. According to Isaiah 26 and 10. All right, he can't learn righteousness. All right.
It says, "So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another."
And so, 2 and 2, one against another. That's that balance. Okay, that is spoken about. When they say the Lord is all good, that's a lie. Isaiah 45 and 7 says, He forms the light, He creates the darkness, He creates peace, He creates evil. The Lord does all those things, roughly paraphrased. Okay? So he's established that balance, and it's all under His control. All right?
Okay. Ezekiel 35 verse 4 says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
God, He said He will lay thy cities waste. That's everywhere you are, mainly in America and in the state of Israel right now. Okay? The state of Israel, we have to make that clear, because that was instituted in 1948 by the Balfour Declaration. Okay? We know that Israel is a people before it's a place, according to Genesis, I believe it's 32, around verse 26 and 27, and then again in Genesis 35, 9 through 12, all right, where his name was changed from Jacob to Israel. So we know it's a people before it's a place, all right? And then, like the scripture saying, was that first Maccabees, he made the place for the people's sake. Can you grab that right quick?
Mm-hmm.
Just to prove it's the people before its place.
This is 2 Maccabees chapter 5 verse 19. It says, nevertheless, the Most High did not choose the people for the place's sake, but the place for the people's sake.
God. See, the people were already called Israel before we went into the land. You know, we were already called that. All right. He said, I will lay thy cities waste. That's you can get Isaiah chapter 14 verses the 21.
Mm-hmm.
He said, so that they will never rise again. Okay, you
Yep.
will never be in rulership again. Correct.
This is Isaiah chapter 14 verses 21 and 22. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers.
So, and let me pause you right there. So for you Edomites that are, boldly saying, I had nothing to do with that, you are your ancestors. Okay, that's a straight cut to what you're saying right there. Prepare a slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. As the scriptures say, the laws of earth are supposed to be the laws of heaven, but we're not in rulership right now. Okay, and one of those laws is He will visit the iniquities of the father upon the third and fourth generation. All right, you holding that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 5. It says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
God. So yeah, he's going to visit that upon you. It tells us in 2nd Ezra 14 and 35, there's going to be that judgment after death. So you come back, okay, as your you your ancestor, and we definitely know. Let's say, for example, we did that for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, talking about Emmett Till. Carolyn Bryant thinks she went to her grave unscathed. No, she's going to come back and get that judgment.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because these are the commandments that were given to the children of Israel. But these are also the very commandments because the Lord's word is forever.
Yeah.
So these are the commandments that'll be governed upon the whole world once Israel's back in rulership. So this will apply to all people eventually. And it says, verse 6, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So that's first and foremost. Again, 2/3 of our people, are being judged. But then that mercy, again, the Lord's coming back. And he's showing mercy unto those, and he's bringing judgment to others. Yeah.
So yeah, the laws of heaven will govern earth, just like what that Matthew 6 and 10 says, on earth as it is in heaven.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to govern. Right now, it's given in His hands, that we talked about earlier in Job 9:24.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to get that?
Yeah, did you finish that? Isaiah 14. Okay.
This is back in Isaiah 14 and 21. Just prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
So yeah, you will never be in rulership again when you go down. And it's plummeting fast, real fast. Esau, we see, I haven't got to it yet, but the chat, everything is set up, for that MOTB. Okay, everything is set up for World War III. We know that the Lord is visiting the world He made according to 2nd Ezra 9. We've been seeing the chariots for the longest. You've been seeing them. As a matter of fact, when they popped up on the feeds, you cut it off a couple of years ago. That prophecy of Ezekiel 1, the wheel within the wheel. Remember that thing that was flying across? It was a wheel within a wheel. That's just what it looked like. And it, that was Dabu 7. He had that feed, and that wheel within the wheel, he showed the earth, and that wheel, it was gonna blanket. That's like when Ezra said he couldn't see. When that chariot, when Yahweh came back, it was so big he couldn't see. And when you think back to that video where the fathership was getting close to the earth, or right in the vicinity of it, yeah, it's gonna cover the whole earth, man.
Read that again.
Yep. This is Isaiah 14:21. This is prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
That was the point you made. You said that they were falling fast. This is the book of Psalm 73, verse 18. It says, surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castest them down into destruction. All right. And so they're slipping and they're falling. And they can't get up. But it kind of sound like DMX. But anyway, but no. So they're falling into destruction, and what happens when right now we're in a cold season, ice, and you're amongst people, or you could be skating, and when you're getting ready to fall, and anything around you or near you, you reach in to grab. So the point I'm making is, as they're slipping and falling, they're going to take as many with them as they can, right, into that destruction. So we have to have our eyes open and knowing, as far as listening to the prophets, the men of the Lord, starting with the men of GMS, on how we should conduct and be moving in this world in these perilous times amongst these people. It says, verse 19, how are they brought to desolation as in a moment? They are utterly consumed with terrors, because in a moment, in a quick moment, they say like in 1 hour, it's just a quick time period. At one point, everything seemed to be going well, and just in an instant, utter destruction and chaos, and a transition into a new kingdom, a new rulership under Yahweh Shai. And it says, as a dream, when one waketh, so the Lord, when thou wakest, thou shalt despise their images. So of course, in a moment there'll be, like Joe mentioned, that it's going to be like a moment, like a dream. How quick everything's going to happen, and then the kingdom, and it's going to be like they've never have been.
Yep.
Back here. Okay.
Back in I have one more verse.
Okay.
Isaiah 14:22. It says, for I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord. So that's dealing with the Lord, cutting off, Esau, Edom seed line. See, because what it says that the son and the nephew, which those are men, and we know men, they carry the seed. So it's gonna come a point in time where the nation of Edom is gonna be completely cut off forever. As it said in the book of Obadiah, and there should be none remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has spoken it.
And we know, according to Isaiah 55, his word does not return unto him void. All right.
Verse 5, Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time and in the time that their iniquity had an end.
And he's been, as we were leaving Egypt, Amalek came up behind us, who was the head nation of Esau, Edom. Okay, says, in the time that our calamity, that our iniquity had an end. That's right now. Okay, but like the scriptures say, you're going to further the affliction. Okay, you haven't stopped.
Yeah, that Lamentations 4.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Lamentations 4. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Lamentations chapter 4, beginning of verse 21. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked."
Mm.
What?
Yeah. He said, yeah, thou shalt be drunken and make thyself naked. You know, you are being exposed right now. Okay? You don't know what's going to hit you. I mean, you know it's the Lord, but you don't want to admit it. You're being exposed. So that's why it's live it up right now, because this is it. All right? This is it. And we know you're going to live it up because the scriptures prophesy. You know you have a short time. That's why you're going to come down with great wrath. Okay? And as long as, as a people, his elect are going to have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to navigate through that. Some of us are going to be martyrs according to the scriptures, but even then, those who perish in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach are going to rise first. Okay? In this truth. Okay? According to 1 Thessalonians, chapter 4, 15 through 18. Yeah. Those who died in Hamashiach first are going to died in Hamashiach are going to rise first, and then those who are left behind are going to be caught up in the air with them in the chariots. All right.
Verse 22, it says, "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." And that's happening right now. All right, yeah. The sins of Esau, Edom are being exposed, man, and all his wickedness is being put out there for the world to see. And like I said, the Lord said He will no more carry us away into captivity. So this captivity here in America is the last and final captivity us as Israelites will ever have to experience, man. God. Because from this point on, man, when the Lord delivers, Lord will be that elect number. We're going to be immortals, and we're going to be in the everlasting kingdom of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
Yes,
Yeah. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 26, verses 20. I'm going to read 25. The point is 26. He says, "When he speaketh fairly, believe him not. For there are 7 abominations in his heart, completely wicked." And when those 7 abominations, I link that up with the Proverbs. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, feet that a heart that devises wicked imaginations. Right, sowing discord among brethren, just to name a few of the 7. Because he said, so I read that again. He says, "When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart." Right? The scripture talks about smooth words, but war was in his heart.
Yeah.
His words was softer than oil, smoother than butter. Roughly paraphrasing. Verse 26, "Whose hatred is covered by deceit." Right? He's a forger of lies, like we just brought out before previously. His wickedness shall be shewed before the whole congregation, which again, what we talked about previously, everything in which he's doing is going to be exposed, right? And it's being shown before the children, mainly, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the elect, is who we are preaching this to, right? Though he tells us, to go out and preach to all the nations, they need to know their judgment, but ultimately, we're hoping for the elect to return, and we be those men for salvation by doing the work.
That precept brought up another one of mine too. When he says, "When he speaketh fair, believe him not." That's that commandment: never trust thine enemy. For his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. All right.
Yep. Did you have more there? Okay.
No, that was it today.
Yep. Ezekiel 35. I'm gonna read 5 again, and because it flows right into 6. It says, "Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and have shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Seest, since thou hast hated blood, not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
God, he said, and that's the thing. How was that blood recompensed? Okay, somebody grab Numbers 35 and 33.
Yep. This is Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
God, and then that's the thing. It's talking about Esau, Edom. You have shared our blood. You know, just like you said, we go through these for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. We haven't even scratched the surface of everything that you've done. You know, and a lot of the you know, you always give a low body count when it's a whole lot more. That was part of the last video we just did. You know, they only said so many people died, but there were accounts of a whole lot more that passed away. All right, because of his hatred. Okay, he says, like you read, it says, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay, how is it going to happen? You just brought out Numbers 35 and 33. Let's get the book of Joel, chapter 3, verses 19 through 21.
This is Joel chapter 3, beginning in verse 19. It says, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness.
See, that's Egypt, which is it's called a house of bondage, or straits, a place of difficulty. Okay, going back to the Hebrew word Mizraim. Okay,
It was a Matazarium.
Montezarum. Yep.
Which when you go into it, Egypt means double straits.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, let me actually go into the blue letter real quick. It says the Hebrew word Matazarium. It says Egypt, which when you jump down, all right, the definition too, it means double straits. Mm-hmm. You see, and here a so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have experienced nothing but straits, or being in a position of difficulty. Mm-hmm. Last hired, first fired. You know, living from check to check. You know, being subject to payments. You know, and bondage. You know, they ain't nothing but straits.
Yep. Usury, taxes. You know, yeah, a whole lot of stuff going on there. But, you know, go ahead and continue with that, Joel.
It says, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they had shed innocent blood in their land. Mm-hmm. It says, but Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation.
And it says Judah, that's the southern kingdom, and Israel from generation to generation. So that's pretty much telling you that's when we're going to be in that immortal state. Okay, we're going to have the law, statutes, and commandments as part of our fabric. Okay, genetic fabric is going to be within us. You know, according to
Jeremiah 31:31.
Yep, Jeremiah 31. Yep, Jeremiah 31:31, and then it's re-quoted in Hebrews 8, chapter 8.
It says, verse 21, for I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion.
God, so he's going to cleanse that blood by the hand of his people, Israel. Just like it said in Obadiah 1 and 18. All right? So these scriptures are true, and they know it too. They know it. That's why they trying to get set up now, to figure out whose houses they can storm and take them out. Okay? There's a reason why Mark Zuckerberg is getting rid of the fact checking, okay?
Precept.
Because he wants to show, you know, see who's doing what. Go ahead.
Revelations 12:12. Mm-hmm. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein, in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So just to your point, you know, you said that with all the stuff that's going on, the calamities, they're not able to, at this point, they can't control the narrative
Right.
of what's actually going on. They say just as quick, the Lord had had made knowledge increase. And how did he do so? By the internet. And he had the prophets on there giving out, being the spiritual weather report men, lack of terms, to be watchmen. And so as quick as things that are going on in the earth, just as fast that we have men day and night, right, telling what's actually happening, that's going on in the world. And so of course you even have their own, that's their tongue is falling upon themselves, telling of things that are actually going on, which only does nothing but help the truth, because again the scriptures say you can't do nothing against the truth but for the truth. So all these things are happening, and they're seeing it, and they're seeing that the true men of the Lord, which again they know who they are, they don't speak on them because they don't want, they're just making adjustments based off of the things that they see that are being said. And because they know they have a short time, that's where we go back to those slippery places, because they're moving fast, they're doing things, whereas before, times past, everyone could hear what they say and believe them. They could cover their tracks very well. This current present time, everything that they do, they're showing, because when you move in haste, you make very many mistakes, and it's that much more being amplified of who he really is just by how he is moving. And so that's how he, like, going back to your point, he knows that he has only but a short time, so he's moving in haste, and trying to get his ultimate plan, which will never go into in fruition. It will never come to its likeness, because Yahweh Shai have already told us through the scriptures that he's going to throw them down.
What's that? When he was about to fill his belly.
Job 20.
Yeah, you want to grab that?
This is Job chapter 20 and verse 23. It says, when he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fear of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
And that's the thing, when he's about to fill his belly. What is that point? The implementation of that MOTB, thinking he's going to have a rule forever. And it's not, the rulership is not designated to him forever. Okay? That's for the nation of Israel.
Yep, and just, it came right back, like that part where it says, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, like, because he's, this is his heaven, this is his kingdom, and he's coming down in the great fall, as we read, going further into Isaiah 14, and then that fall, he's in slippery places. He's taking as many people down with him as he can. It's also been shown, which they destroyed them, those Georgia Guidestones, which had spoke on, they were trying to get a population down from certain billions down to like 500,000 or something like that. It's also been mentioned in certain movies. I remember brothers bringing it out, and I had looked past it, but when you look at the one movie with Will Smith, you mentioned it yesterday, I Am Legend, it was even stated in like a small clip of them saying, we're trying to get this, the number was dwindled down to like 500,000 or something like that, So it's been in movies, it's been carved in stones, it's been an ideology pushed by Ill Kill Bates, who, he stood up and talked about, pushing forth a certain type of thing to the people, which would, diminish that could possibly diminish the population, speaking in code for those who, understand. But
he did that at a thing called TED Talk in October 2019, and he specifically said 10 to 15% through the system that's responsible for supposedly healing.
Now, understanding that they forging of lives, they made themselves to be one that have to say that they are the majority, when in actuality they're a very small number, insignificant, as it tells us in Obadiah. So you can't go into against the word of the Lord by making yourself claiming to be the majority, when it tells you that you're very small. And it tells you, when you look up the birth rates and who had the most difficulty in multiplying, you see that the children of Israel in the first Egypt, which we've brought up, was able to multiply because of the stress.
Yep.
They continue to do that in this very same captivity. And so it only is likely to see that for people that can't multiply in great number, what else would you do? When your back is against the wall, you're going to reside to your blessing, which is that sword, which is any manner of killing instrument to use to keep or slow down the increase of a people. First, which would be children of Israel, and it'd be the men, because that's the ones that bring forth that lineage.
God, well, to your point, look at what they're doing in the media and the commercials. They're promoting Esau, Edom with Eve.
Yeah.
Every single commercial, you're seeing that. All right, and then you just recently had the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Okay, that wasn't for us. That was for their women. Okay, there's this book. I forget who the author was. It's called The Birth Dearth, where they tried to systematically find a way to increase their birth rates because they know they're declining.
Well, to your point, you had the eugenics movement. I forget the name. It was actual a documentary that came out. But pretty much you had the whole push of Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
And you look at the neighborhoods in which they were set.
Also,
to the point you had money that was actually given, that was donated in the hundreds to 100,000, maybe even in the millions, that was actually designated for a certain demographic of people, which was again the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and then would pay even that much more if it was a male child. And so again, I had to go back, get further details of the video. It's been years since I watched it.
Yep.
But that was also constructed, to keep your so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians down in a society. Again, what we brought out in the last video, Psalms 83 says, cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. You've been through the school systems, the history that you've given, it said, oh, you just came off boats.
Yeah.
You came from Africa off boats, and then, but never even further explain what we were doing prior to. You took away the language, which Jeremiah in 17 says, then I shall discontinue from your heritage. So you made sure that we didn't know our language, changed the names, all of which to keep us coming back, covering up the marks, the trails to lead us back to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But it's only been by the Spirit of the Lord that He set a group of men that would get this knowledge, this wisdom, and understanding. And for all the things that we just previously mentioned is why this place is going to be completely, utterly destroyed. Because if you stayed into power and continued on in the power, there would be no flesh saved, because you would do your due diligence to completely eradicate the children of Israel.
And to your point, you brought up Planned Parenthood. Margaret Sanger, founder of that. She's the great grandmother of the guy who we just talked about did the TED Talk. Yeah, and when you look into his father's history, he was a eugenicist too. Yeah. So
he'll kill.
He'll kill. Now I tried to look that up. They actually scrubbed the fact that she was his great grandmother.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Yep. I had a page and it locked me out by bringing that up. So, but yeah.
It's like, I know it kind of went sidebar, but again, hopefully
explain this devil.
Yeah, hopefully, it's what we're bringing out and we're discussing and speaking on. It brings more light as to why this being exposed is very important, and for them to be exposed. So when Yahweh Shai increase His judgment, and like you said, He brings that judgment down like a stream upon this place. We understand why. Yep. We're comforted in knowing why.
Yep.
All right.
So like you said, just bringing it back. He said, even since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay, and that's gonna be by the hand of His people, according to His anger, in that Joel 3:19. Okay, 19 through 21, according to His anger. So we don't go out there now. We supposed to wait upon the Lord, and we gonna have our time. All right, but just like he said in Jeremiah 16, there's a time we will be fishing for the elect, and then there's going to come a time when we're going to be hunting. All right, those wicked elites, okay, making the first fruits of slavery. All right, back in Ezekiel.
Yep, Ezekiel. What time we at?
Oh no, we good.
Okay. Yep, verse 7. It says, "Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth." Real quick, I had got pulled up that most, right, and I looked into the second part because it says extent or degree, a greatest of quantity, but it says this is a Merriam dictionary. It says to the greatest and highest degree. All right, to a very great degree. So out of all the nations, they're going to be the most. They're going to be at the very, very bottom, the most trodden down of all the nations. Because eventually, the other nations, though they're going to be foot to ass. On them, to them, the rod, beating them down and breaking them down. They'll eventually have their land back. They'll eventually be able to have their women and kind of gather, bringing in their being tributaries unto the children of Israel. However, Esau Edom is going to continue to be beat down all the way into the point we're done, used until they're used up.
Yeah.
And that's thus said the Lord.
But what you brought out, bringing up that definition of most, that fully supports the definition, and then Zondervan's Comeback Bible Dictionary, saying that he's the only nation that will not receive mercy. All right.
It says, and I will, verse 8, and I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword.
Yep, and we read something similar in Isaiah the 14th chapter, or earlier when it said prepare slaughter for his children for their iniquity of their fathers. All right, this lines up in Isaiah the 34th chapter where the Lord said his sword shall be bathed in heaven and shall bring it down upon Idumea, which Idumea, that's the Greek way of saying Edom. All right, Edomites, so-called white people. That's who the judgment of the Lord is coming for, man. And this is the judgment that's getting ready to fall upon primarily America, as well as the land of Israel.
3:7. This is the book of Revelation, Revelations 13, 9 and 10. He says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Yep, so you as a nation are responsible for leading the Israelites into captivity. So therefore, hey, you're going to reap what you sow, man. The Lord, he's going to put you in captivity under the Israelites. Go ahead.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
And what was Esau's blessing? The sword. And he has exercised the sword against you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans throughout all the generations. Anything that he's used to keep you down and keep you low and try to get rid of you, hey, that's considered the sword.
Yep.
Whether it be laws and legislation, Planned Parenthood trying to do it, the seed of Israel, or whether it be the modern day, the gun, anything used to kill, man.
And he's done it with perfection.
Yep.
That was the Lord giving him that blessing.
Yeah, but you read, he who killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Whose sword is it going to be? Yahweh's. He said in with Matthew 10, 28, when he comes, he come not in peace, but he bringeth the sword.
Yeah, and then you have, you also have in Psalms 17, he says, deliver me from the wicked, which is thy sword. Yeah.
Yep.
So he's telling this Yahweh Shai, like I said, all things are governed by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, like you mentioned. He create evil and he make peace. So the bad times, he's sending the prophets out to blow the trumpet to let you know these are the things that he's sending forth. None of these things that are happening upon earth is without him sanctioning it. Right? So this is a warning. Because again, another brother posted, we've always speaking about it, that the gates or the doors of mercy are closing.
Yep.
Right? And so when that time comes and that flood comes in, right? When he said judgment like a flood, but the enemy shall come like a flood, right? So the Lord Esau is being used as that judgment is just the same upon himself, because he's going to turn it upon himself, but then mainly on 2/3 of the people, right? But for the elect, he said, he shall lift up a standard when the enemy shall come in like a flood, right? A standard should be lifted.
Yep.
So then that's what we should be hoping for, right? Not how the wicked, are destroyed, really, but how the righteous shall be saved. That's a statement that was said to Ezra.
Yeah, you mentioned the doors of mercy closing. That just brought to mind when the door of that ark shut.
God.
And once they close, you out there. And it's that judgment's about to come. Like a flood.
Yeah. Lord. The Lord isn't going to be like, oh, I forgot such and such. No, everybody's going to receive what they have done in this body, and like he tells us in the end of Ecclesiastes 12, he said whether it be good or whether it be evil, and of course that's first and foremost to the whole duty of man. And we talk about the children of Israel because we were given the commandments, but we said, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, Peter mentioned, how much more, the wicked or the ungodly, and the sinner.
And the sinner, yep.
Last part of this, verse 10, he says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
He shows me who were the saints, man, the Israelites, pursuant to Psalms 148 chapter. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. So while we're suffering here under the rulership of Esau Edom, this is our hope.
Yep.
That ultimately soon, and we know what's going to happen, and soon in the near future, Yahweh Bashmi Ashai going to turn the tables and flip the roles, man.
Yep.
All right, we're going to be in the power seat and rulership, and Esau, he going to be, and his whole nation, all right, they're going to be slaves, man, along with the rest of the heathens.
Okay. Ezekiel 35 verse 9, it says, I will make the perpetual desolation.
Yep, which perpetual means everlasting. Go ahead.
And thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Because first and foremost, we know once the Lord brings this destruction to America, all right, as Isaiah the 34th chapter tells us, a fire that shall not be quenched, which meaning ultimately the fire that the Lord brings to America is going to burn for a long time.
Yep.
All right, then after it goes out, it's not going to be inhabited by people anymore, but rather desert creatures, and like the scripture say in Isaiah 13, the doleful creatures. Okay, but as far as the land of Israel, in the grand scheme of things, that land doesn't belong to him. Right? That's our land. You see, we always go into how both America and Israel are going to be destroyed, right? But Israel is going to be built back up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because that land belongs to us. That don't belong to Esau. All right, he stole it. You see, but the Lord, he's going to return it to us, man.
That's what I was saying. With spirit, that's the spirit. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, yeah, this is just like you said, the land is not ours. It's in the very next chapter, Ezekiel 36, beginning in verse 1. He says,
no, read 5. Just jump to the point.
Just 5?
Yeah.
To the point.
Read 5.
Oh, he said, even ancient places, high places are ours.
Verse 5.
Okay, that's 2.
No, read 5.
5. Okay, therefore, Slakia,
Yes, sir.
Ezekiel 36 and 5. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh our power. Surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea.
Remember, Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. Go ahead.
Which have appointed my land into their possession with all the joy of their heart, with the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey.
Which, once again, going into the 1948 Balfour Declaration. You see, they've taken possession of our land. Chiefly Amalek was the top tribe of Edom, and they have done nothing but wickedness over there, man.
Yep.
One of the most notable things is Pink City, which I believe that's over there in Tel Aviv, man.
Yep.
Yep.
They're just polluting the land with wickedness.
It's actually the largest. I looked it up some time ago. It's the largest in all the world, all of Earth, and they get upwards to 250,000 coming to celebrate. In that one small area, I say small area, I've been there physically, but in that area. Yep.
And you see, in times past, man, when the heathens came in and polluted our land, this is after we was kicked out in the 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, I believe. What happened was the heathens came in, polluted it with their wickedness, and the Lord sent lions among them and slew them.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think is going to happen this time around? The Lord sees you obviously polluting his land. All right, what do you think is going to happen to you?
Yeah, because he told the children of Israel who was there, just back to your point even more. He's like, hey, don't do what the inhabitants did there, because it was the Canaanites.
Oh, Leviticus 18.
Yeah, he said because the things that they did,
Mm-hmm.
is why they got spewed out of the land.
Yeah.
But it was for us. But then
Right.
we went in and did the very same things, and got spewed out the land. If you could go ahead and bring out your verse that you have when you get a moment.
Well, I was going to say, just to make a point, this is Ezekiel 36, 1 and 2. It says, also, thou son of man, so he's still talking to Edom,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Thou son of man, prophesy to the mountains of Israel and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Thus saith Yahweh our power, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours. So that's talking about the actual headquarters where Amalek has right now. But as you pulled out in verse 5, the residue of him which had appointed my land into their possession, we got to remember the land was from the great river of Egypt, which is the Nile, all the way over to the Euphrates. So those other nations have all of that. Like where Saudi Arabia is today, Iran, Iraq, Yemen, Palestine. Yeah. Well, Palestine is part of the headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about all the other lands outside of that, which is another, that's why they're I think parts of Syria. That's why they're at war with those nations, because that's truly all of the land, according to Genesis chapter 15. I want to say around verse 18 to 21. Yeah, that's truly the land from the great river of Egypt all the way over to the Euphrates. Right now, the state of Israel just has the headquarters as identified. I believe it's Joshua chapter 13, verse through. No, yeah, chapter 13 through chapter 22. Okay, talking about the land. All right.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, that's going to be the headquarters.
Yep.
The true Israel. But then all of the earth is going to be ours.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same Ezra said that
Mm-hmm.
the world which is made for our sakes. Okay.
That's right. And then I had looked up that aha, right? And if you don't mind, brother, if you can grab it in the Strongs, I know you.
Mm-hmm.
But I had looked up the aha. It was like a moment of sudden realization, inspiration, insight, recognition. Because he was like, aha. So at that very moment, he realized, I got the goodly parts of the land. I got the Lord's land that, knowing it don't belong to you. But, we got, but then that's where it said in Job, it says because I actually looked here, it said, aha, used to express surprise, triumph.
Yep. Triumph for the wicked.
Right, and he said the triumph of the wicked is but for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So that aha moment. Oh, I got everything. But the Lord has said that triumphing of the wicked is but for a moment. It's short. Right? And though his excellency raised up, he's going to bring him down.
Yep.
So just as high as he got, he's going to fall. For riches, injuries, how'd it go?
Oh, Sirach 10 and 8.
If you can quote it.
Yeah. The kingdom is translated from one people because of unrighteous dealings and
Injuries.
riches gotten by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah, so he's gotten to that moment where he's like, oh, I have all the possessions, everything, the children of Israel, everybody's under me. He placed himself to be God. He thought that the Lord was with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then that short moment, he's going to fall. He's in that slippery place. He's going to fall, and he's actually at the point of the fall now.
Mm-hmm. That actually goes into the next scripture. Ezekiel 35 and 10.
I had that in the Strongs that you wanted.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now for the outline of biblical usage and Strong's definitions, it just says aha. But when you jump down to the Gesenius Hebrew Chaldee Lexicon, It says imitating a cry of joy, and then it says also use and glorying over an enemy's misfortune.
That's the Balfour Declaration, 1948.
And that goes back. Look, we mentioned this. The last thing we said, adding injury to insult.
Yep.
Right. You shouldn't have joyed in the day of their calamity. Right. Right. When he says, and then Obadiah, when he says, when the enemies came in the day of their calamity, like he was there.
Yep.
And he was joyful, like, oh, this is my chance. Read that one more time, please, Bubba Shaw.
He did the same thing in Judah, remember? Yeah, told him how to cut off the water.
Oh, yeah.
It says imitating a cry of joy. It says also use and glorying over an enemy's misfortune.
Yeah. So they glory. So he's telling you, he as in Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai, when he read verse 1, he says, read this to the children of Israel, right? And we're in calamity right now.
Yep.
And he's glorying in the fact that we're low.
Yep.
To see that us, our women are divided against each other. We're talking about the 7 abominations, the lowness of our women, how our men are, and there's a divide between the men and women. The men are out of the house. Our eyes are evil toward each other, and we're killing each other. They glory in that, okay, because they have everything, and the power has been in their hands to manipulate those things. Yep. So he says, tell the children of Israel, then back to your 2, he says, thus saith the Lord power, because the enemy has said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. So what is part of the ancient high places? You the people before it's a place as well, right? You not only do you have the physical land, but you have his people under your tutelage and control, subjection. What you got?
No, that's when you get back to Ezekiel 35.
Ezekiel 35 verse 10, because thou hast said these 2 nations and these 2 countries.
Which, like it says, these 2 nations, that's referring to the southern and northern kingdom. All right, 2 countries being what? The land of America and Israel, because before Esau, Edom came over here with the sword and took this land, who was inhabiting the land of America?
Yep.
All right, the northern kingdom.
Yep.
But once again, through violence and through the force of the sword, all right, Esau, Edom, all right, the so-called white man, he stole this land. You see, and currently, they're trying to take over everything over there, all right, in the land of Israel, all right, and that whole region, all right, by the force of the sword.
Yep. And they know this. You're talking about Israel and America. 2nd Ezra 13 it's called Ashereth, where the 10 tribes went to. But Ashereth, when you go look it up, whose information does it bring up first? To show you they know this. It's in their encyclopedia. Ashereth is America. Okay, which is what Christopher Columbus, who we also know was one of those fake people, used the Apocrypha to find the Northern Kingdom over here.
So verse 10, because thou hast said these 2 nations and these 2 countries should be mine, and we shall possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord power, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them.
Yeah, you see, like I said, according to envy, and when you envy someone, you're jealous of what they got. Now, what is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, envious for? That birthright, which when you go back into the history during the time of Jacob and Esau, he willingly gave it up over an uncooked meal. You see, so he's mad at us for the mistake or the fuck up that he willingly made.
Which is a thing that is huge and big in this world about having no accountability.
God. Blaming somebody else for your actions, man. You see, so the Lord say he's going to do according to your anger and according to your envy. You see, because your anger and your envy and the enmity, the hatred you have towards the nation of Israel has caused you to do things that's just completely way out of line, man, towards the nation of Israel.
namely breaking the brotherly covenant.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the Lord, and that's why I've said this world, because the Lord, when you come to serve Yahweh Shai, he's gonna hold you accountable to everything, right? When he gave the covenant, when he gave us when he made the covenant with the children of Israel and the people before Moses standing before the people and did the sacrifice and the blood, right? The sacrifice. The people said, all that is spoken we will do, roughly paraphrasing. And part of that was, you're going to receive these blessings, but if you go off, these things are going to happen unto you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so...
And those curses, we talk about it all the time. From Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68. The word shall or shout appears 110 times. That word means inevitable. It's going to happen if you do this. And it did.
So second part, it says use out of thy hatred against thee, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And
that goes back to that Joel 3:19. You know, when he put us in that power, you know, Isaiah 59, he's gonna lift up that standard, you know. And he's gonna be known among, well, as the scriptures say, you know, the Lord is known by his judgments.
God.
Yeah. And you know, he's gonna be judge Edom by his hand. Just like you said up here, what was that?
Well, go back to the we say the first Egypt, right? When I say the spiritual Egypt and Sodom, right? When all the plagues were coming and it came to the point that they didn't have anything, a comeback for it. Yeah. What was their final thing? They said, this was from the hand of the Most High, you know?
God.
Hey, so eventually your pride is going to be brought to the point. There's nothing like, you know, a bully, you know, and you see it in a movie, or, you know, or you've dealt with someone that has been so prideful and so arrogant. Because again, these are abominations unto the Lord. And then to the point where they've done so much, and to the point where they've been crushed down and humbled to the point where they now have to crawl, you know, asking for forgiveness or mercy for all the things that they've done. And they're going to be brought down, you know, because it tells you, you bring it out all the time, where it says, will show mercy with who have not shown mercy.
Oh, yeah.
Can you get it real quick?
Yeah, that's...
because eventually, they're going to be asked, it's going to be to the point where they're going to be asking for mercy, you know. The Lord's going to, everybody that exalted himself is going to be made a base, right? And the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. And of course, the Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, he's going to lift up the humble, which would be the elect, you know, 144,000, and the elect, you know, in that last day. But then you're going to have these other nations are going to be very humbled, especially Esau Edom, again, when he says most desolate, because he's the most proud, according to in Jeremiah. You know, he mentioned that. Go ahead, what you got?
This is Romans chapter 9, verse 16. Oh, wait, I can start at 15. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not the will, not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai that showeth mercy. Okay? So this is up to the Lord. He says, verse 17, for the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I may show my power in thee, that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
So that very good one, because that's actually going to happen, like happened to Pharaoh, it's going to happen here. But I want that one in that Colossians that you get, that show no mercy. Who a mercy? Who?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
it's James 2:13.
That was good. Yeah.
James 2.
James 2:13. James 2:13.
Salakia.
James 2:13. For he shall have judgment without mercy that show no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment.
There's another one. That's a good one too. There's another one though.
Probably is the Colossians.
It's the Colossians that I wanted.
3:25.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is Colossians chapter 3, verses 25. He says, "But he that doeth wrong shall receive of the..." No, never mind. No, go ahead. Never mind. We'll leave it.
okay.
Okay. Salaki, I had these couple scriptures, but those are perfect though. Those still go. Read yours again, Baba Kasha.
Yep. James chapter 2, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
It says, for he shall have judgment without mercy that has showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So again, well, the main point is with all the things in which he has done upon the earth, he's going to be crawling, begging for some form of mercy. Yeah. It goes back to how brothers bring out about Lazarus and the rich man. We're in the Lazarus state. We got the crumbs and we're getting everybody's feeding off of us, right? Mm-hmm. Being in a trodden state, and that's how they glory. The rich man is not considering Lazarus, but yet when the tables turn, right, then you're going to be looking like, hey, help me, give me a little bit of something. And it's like, no, well, when you had chance, you took complete advantage and didn't use it for good. Now the poor, Israel, the elect, is going to be in the righteous state.
Right? Can you read that again?
It's James 2 and 13. For he shall have judgment without mercy that has showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment.
So that's talking about Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, okay? Because it's going back in that Romans 9 and 16. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that showeth mercy. So the mercy is that the true mercy is with the Most High, okay? And as the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary says, Edom is the only neighbor of Israel that will not be shown any mercy. All right.
Yep.
Back in Ezekiel.
What verse? We're at 12. It says, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemous, I can say that right. Say it for me. Blasphemies, which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume.
When you go into those mountains, we know those are symbolic for governments. Who is the government? The elect. 144,000. All right. The elect of the elect is the government. All right.
Continue.
It says they are laid desolate and given to us to consume. Well, we know the wicked is a sword. That curse that said we will go to a nation. Get that in Deuteronomy 28. A fierce nation. Which is the one who has the sword.
Yeah, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 verses 49 and 50. It says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
That's we were, he said swift as the eagle flieth. Who's the symbol of the eagle? America. And then you have a lot of those ancient empires who used the eagle as a symbol as well. There were Edomite kingdoms. Okay? Namely right here. Look on the back of the dollar bill right now. You got the eagle with both an olive branch in one hand and arrows in another. He speaketh, like you say, he speaketh fairly, okay? But it's with deceit. Psalms 55 and 21, what's that? His words are smoother than oil. There's war in his heart, okay? So he's got one in each hand. That's talking about that devil, Esau, Edom.
Yep, right. Which this is referring to the ancient Roman Empire, right? But we understand that ultimately we're in Rome all over again here in America.
Yep.
the revival of Rome.
Another one. I just wanted to make sure because I didn't know that the Greeks, the Greeks of the past, the eagle was a bird as well. It said that in ancient Greece, the eagles were considered divine birds, and symbols of power, strength, freedom, and wisdom. So they use that as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Just to back your point up.
It says verse 50. It says, "A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young."
Yep. So yeah, and that's the thing. They don't. Well, again, those who show no mercy, they didn't regard us. Okay.
To the back here.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have anything on that?
Okay. So 35, Ezekiel 35, verse 13. It says, "Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them."
Hey, because one thing, Esau, Edom, a so-called white man, he has a God complex. All right, he like if somebody want to pull 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4 real quick.
Yeah, I was holding. Yep. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 4, "Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, and that is worship, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High."
And that's Esau blaspheming against the heavens, man. Him trying to put himself in the seat of the Most High, him, putting up false images of the Most High, making him to be be a so-called white man, as he's done with his only begotten Son and the angels. All right, those are some of the main examples of the blasphemies that Esau, even the so-called white man, has committed against the heavens, in which he has to answer for it, man.
Yep. Which, going back to when we brought up the scripture that him being a forger of lies, physicians of no value, doctrine up, the truth, and putting himself into that position. Yep. You wanted more on this one here?
You can go back to Ezekiel.
Okay, yeah. Ezekiel. Yep. Verse 14. It says, "Thus saith the Lord power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate."
God, now that goes back. And why is he going to make them desolate? Because of those blasphemies that he heard. Okay, this is Matthew chapter 12, verse 36 to 37. This is the words of Yahushua. So this is confirming this. Okay, he says, "But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words shalt thou be condemned." He's about to be condemned.
That's right.
I got. You want to read verse 14 again? I got a precept.
Yep. "Thus saith the Lord power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate."
Yo, this is Isaiah 14 and 7. It says, "The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing." You see, so when Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is taken out of power, ultimately the whole earth is going to rejoice. Somebody want to grab Proverbs 29
too? I was just thinking it. Go ahead.
With Edom and rulership and the power seat, the earth is mourning. And not just the people, the animals, or the trees, the earth itself.
Proverbs 29 verse 2, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice."
See, because when the righteous are in authority, they're going to rule according to the order that the Most High has established from the beginning. All right, the laws, statutes, and commandments, man. That's what's wrong with the earth right now. The laws of the Lord are not being implemented in this land. As Isaiah 24 chapter tells you, the earth is defiled because of the inhabitants thereof. All right, they have done away with the ordinance, roughly paraphrasing. All right, that's why the earth is in the pitiful state it's in, man. Go ahead.
"But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn."
And everybody right now is mourning, man, because of the unrighteous decrees that are being passed forth, man, and people are struggling to make a living. Right, that's all due to the wicked being in rulership, man.
I had something real quick. Proverbs 28 and 28, it says, "When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase."
God.
So just going on further, like once they're gone and they're diminished, righteousness can flourish, right? That's at Ezra, where it says when deceit shall be quenched,
Mm-hmm.
and the truth that been so long without fruit shall be declared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so everybody's going to eventually be in a rejoicing state when the true men are back in their rightful position. Like the brother mentioned, it had me think. You had me thinking on that Romans, where it says even they're waiting on the manifestation of the sons of the living power, right? So this is verse Ezekiel, last verse, 35 to 15. It says, "As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord."
Yep, and that begins with the destruction of America.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so hey, we understand that the Lord, He's coming back to judge you Edomites, man, you so-called white people. And after America is destroyed, we understand according to Psalms 149 that the kings of the nations, all right, beginning with the elites of Esau, Edom, guess what? They're going head first into slavery.
Precept.
And then the heathens, man, they're going to serve their captivity, all right, for 1,000 years. Edom's going to serve for 1,000 years, and after that 1,000 years, the only nation that's going to be wiped out forever is the nation of Edom, you so-called white people.
Yep.
Whereas the other heathens, they're going to go back to their lands, but they're still going to be tributaries unto us, man.
Yep. Yeah, this is to bring that one home. The book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 25, and it reads, "But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respect of persons." Straightforward. You're going to receive recompense for what you did. He said, Idumea, even all of it, the whole nation, as you just said. It's going to be wiped out. All right. So with that, we hope this lesson was edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rechak.
Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who do well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Abba Babal.
Abba Babal.